Welcome to your November 2025 energy update. Hi, everybody. For those of you who love to join me live here on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Central, I am going live early, and I am so sorry to miss you if you are not able to join me now. This full moon that just happened, we are at the full moon apex not too long ago, just under an hour ago, the full moon in Taurus apex. And let me tell you, there are disruptions happening all across the board with scheduling, with people around me, with people that are having an eruption of emotion. And these are things that happen with energy like this. So happy and blessed full moon to all of you. If you are watching today on the day of this recording, November 5th, but this is for the entire month of November. Normally I do this about a week before the month starts, but last week I released my 2026 energy update. I did all 12 signs, so I hope you will check that out because wow, the big themes coming through. There were 5 big themes for 2026 that came through right away. I've got all the time stamped and the chapters marked there, so go check that out after we go over this energy right now. November is no joke, and we are feeling this energy right now. So we're going to go into all 12 signs. And as always, I will do your bonus messages at the end where I give you actions to take at the time you're hearing these messages. You know, another thing to remember besides this full moon is Mars left Scorpio yesterday and went into Sagittarius. So this is bold. This is loud. This is energy of charging ahead. As soon as almost immediately after moving into Saturn in Sagittarius, Mars in Sagittarius, slow down. Still feeling my coffee, I guess, even though I was up at 5 a.m. So as soon as Mars went into Sag, it opposed Uranus that's in Gemini. Well, on Friday, Uranus is moving back into Taurus. So many things happening this month. I'm not going to go over all the astrology. Those of you who are part of my brand new community, Coffee with Devin, which you can find out more below. It's through my website where we have monthly meetings. I did your November deep dive yesterday where I went through all the major transits in astrology. We talked a little bit about the numerology of 2026. And thank you to all of you who requested I talk about numerology more here. I will be doing that. That is in the plans to talk more about numerology with all of you because as I mentioned in the 2026 energy video I did last week, it was a video, not a live. I did go into the fact that this year, 2025 is a net 9. We move into a 1 next year. So I'm going to explain kind of the things that you're going to expect to see with that. And I'm going to go even deeper into how you can apply that to your personal life very soon. Now, another really exciting announcement is Chris Reck from Minopon Tarot and chrisreck.com will be back on my channel next week. I'm super excited to collab with him. We're going to be talking about what you need to know right now. Our last collab was this time next year. If you missed it, go check it out. Loaded with information. And I thought this would be a good topic for us to add to it, what you need to know right now so you can start planning for 2026. So he will be back on my channel. We're going to try out that collaboration feature we did last time, which means it will be pre-recorded and then loaded. I know I love having you guys live to comment while we're chatting. But we'll definitely, I read every single one of your comments. So please feel free to comment and chat below this video and next week. And Chris reads them too. So we love seeing all of you in there. And for those of you who were able to pop in live now, I want to give you guys a quick shout out too. I do love trying to be consistent, but since I could not control the way my schedule played out today, I wanted to come on early because I'm just one of those people. Call it my Capricorn rising, but I would rather be early than late. So here we are, super early, and I see Casglow's here. Chumpa Rug Beer, love that name so much. Oh, thank you, Casglow. Great to see you there. Lisa's here. Hello, Healing Hands 4040. Great to see you. So we're going to jump into all 12 signs, and I just realized I've had Aries up the whole time. Sorry, Aries. You're like, when are you getting to my sign? So I'm going to turn that off just for a second so I can see it in the timestamps when I come back. But yeah, so please join us next week as well. Check out that 2026 energy. If you are interested in finding your community where you can talk about all these amazing topics with other people, check out Coffee with Devin. lots of stuff coming there. It's brand new. There's going to be so much content. And then I do have a free new card spread. For those of you who like to do a more personalized spread, last week I posted a brand new free card spread for connecting with your ancestors, which at this time of year, the veil is very thin, so it's a little easier to do. So check out my free card spread for connecting with your ancestors below. There's also a free card spread for Mercury retrograde and the full moon of today and new moon. So there's all kinds of free spreads below. Check them out because they will help you go even deeper. We're going to jump into all 12 signs now. And one of the things that I do differently is I encourage you to listen to all 12 signs and notice what resonates. We don't need to worry too much about whether your sun, moon, or rising is there, or I'll get the question like, I don't have any planets in that sign, but you might get angel bumps. And that is because we have all 12 signs in our birth chart. And this is why you don't really need to know your astrology. You just need to listen and see what resonates. Now grab that journal, make sure you're writing down anything you get angel bumps about. You know, for me, personally, I don't have any natal planets in Aquarius, but I will often get angel bumps around the Aquarius messages, or things will resonate because of different aspects, because of my progress chart. So that's why I encourage you to listen to all 12 signs, write down anything that resonates, and of course, leave behind what doesn't. All right, we're going to jump right in here. Let me know where you're tuning in from. It's so fun to see all of you, and it really helps my channel if you'll like and share this video if they resonate, and comment below because I do read every single one of your messages. All right, now we'll start with the Aries, and I'll have that right for the timestamps after I hop off here. Okay, first for Aries, we're going to switch over to the overhead camera so you can see the cards a little bit more clearly. Aries, your first card today is the Two of Fire, planning, partnering, and progress. Like I said yesterday, for my coffee with Devin that I did yesterday in my community, this was a similar message Aries was getting. So this is really validating. I do specific readings for the people in the community there, and it is always interesting to see how it still plays out with the collective sometimes. Let's see. Our next card here is the Three of Air, great sadness, take time to heal, the need to forgive yourself or others. Now remember, I do read intuitively, not literally, so I'm going to be pulling all this together for you in just a moment. Hey, everybody who's joining. Happy full moon if you're watching this on the 5th. We're going to be feeling this energy for a while. And then life purpose. All right, Aries, listen. You've been really working hard on some creative projects. You've been really trying to get things off the ground this year. You've even tried to partner with others, and not everything has gone quite the way you wanted it to. This Three of Air card tells me that maybe there were some disagreements or some misunderstandings with a partner. This could be romantic for some of you. I am feeling for some of you that this is kind of a conflict between your personal relationships and maybe even your business relationships. And here's what I want to bring up here. If you're retired, this could also be your legacy, things that you're working on in your community, things you want to leave behind. So I'm never reading specifically literally in these collectives, but what I am getting is there is some kind of partnership that you've been working with, and maybe there was conflict there. That's what I'm getting with this Three of Air. It could be a situation where a romantic partner is feeling neglected because you're spending so much time on your work, right? Life purpose. Or maybe you're not feeling like your partner is supporting you enough with the work you're doing. They're demanding your time. They're feeling resentful that you are trying to take some time for yourself to work towards your life purpose. One of the big messages I keep getting for Aries is it is okay to delegate. It is okay to bring people with you along this way. It's just going to take a little patience, and there might be some hurt feelings. There might be some harsh words that come along the way. It could even be the situation where maybe you're the one that's saying, hey, come on, let's get going. I need you to do this. This is not working. You're not staying on top. And the people around you are getting their feelings hurt. So I want you to keep that in mind too. As I said, with Mars moving into Sagittarius yesterday, we're going to see a lot of people just kind of blurting things out, being very passionate with their beliefs. And of course, we've seen that for quite a while. Just keep a focus on the relationships you want to keep in your life. We don't want to say things we can't unsay, and we don't want to get distracted from our purpose. Now, sometimes these partnerships that are in our life are part of our life purpose. So we can't get so focused on our own personal goals that we ignore these relationship contracts that we have in our life. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be a best friend, a child, a parent, any one-on-one relationship that, needs love and attention, and maybe there's a lot of passion involved. And since I see this fiery, passionate card coming before this Three of Air, I feel like it's going to be one of those months. Oh, I forgot to mention Mercury retrograde. How could I forget to mention that? Pretty much the entire month Mercury is retrograde. Just call all November that, because even though it doesn't actually go retrograde until, let's see, is it the 9th or 10th? I don't remember. I don't have my calendar in front of me. Let's see. I've got it up here. I think is it Sunday? No. All right. I'm sorry. I don't have my calendar up. Somebody let me know in the comments. What's the exact date it goes retrograde? But it's already in shadow. Okay. And that means that it's already past the point that it's going to retrograde back to. So why not just slow down with all your communication, take your time, take some deep breaths before you're saying things, texting things, emailing things, and definitely signing things. We want to be really reading the fine print and really thinking through things. As I always say with Mercury retrograde, think of anything with an RE. Rethink, reorganize, rejuvenate, refresh. There was another awesome RE word that came up for me the other day, but research. This is a great month for research because things do slow down, so you have a little bit more time to do that. All right, let's move on to Taurus here. But yeah, Aries, I think you're going to feel this energy slow down. So take your time with your loved ones, with the partnerships you want in your life, because they may not be moving as quickly as you. And I know that feeling. All right, so let's go turn off Aries here. It's not like I haven't done this a bunch. I'm trying to find the button here. How's everybody doing? It's so good to see everybody here. Thanks for joining early with me today. I'm super early. So those of you who I normally get to chat with at 11 Central, hello, much love to you. Sorry I missed you, but definitely say hi in the comments. All right, Taurus, for your November energy. Oop, sorry, that was me doing it. I don't take reversals. You have the Strength card, courage, compassion, perseverance. Then you have Three of Water, a celebration, the need to have more fun. Oh, I'm loving this. And fresh air. Fresh air. All right, Tauruses, this is going to be a month to do what you do best and endure. You have great inner strength. You set a lot of great examples for those around you. And this is one of those times where you're going to be really drawing on that inner strength to persevere through the things that are coming up for review. There's going to be a lot of things coming up for review with this Mercury retrograde. That's another RE. I wish I could think of that other RE word that came to me yesterday during the coffee with Devin, but it really was a powerful word for the messages. And so just keep an eye on that. This is the time of year where when I'm feeling frustrated, I ask myself, maybe I need to just stop and go reorganize a closet. I'll go reorganize a junk drawer. I'll reorganize my office. Who knows? Maybe I'll have a different background by the time Mercury's direct. It happens. And so I want you to do things to nurture yourself so that you can endure. This Three of Water card here, this need to have more fun, is going to be really about trying to be playful around the things that are kind of painful. And I think that's a really kind of hard thing to think about, but there are going to be energies we're all facing that are coming up to be reviewed, renewed, researched. And it might be a painstaking process, but there will be a reward. There's another RE. It will be a reward in the end. So do what you got to do to get outside and get some fresh air. In the month of November, do what you have to do to get a break from things. And that's where I feel like if you're feeling stuck with any energy, if you're feeling stuck on a decision, you probably don't have enough information. So do the research, but also take breaks from it. Don't sit there and just keep spinning. In fact, I won't be surprised if we get the Nine of Swords for a lot of energy with the month of November, because we have to really watch our thoughts right now. We want to go higher with them. We don't want to get into a place of lack. It's really hard to manifest from a place of worry. It's darn near impossible if you're too focused on the thing that you're afraid of happening. So what we want to do is we want to get outside. We want to count our blessings. We want to look for the abundance in the world and do the things you got to do to make the kind of painful things more fun. A really mundane thing might be you've been dreading dealing with that, garage that needs to be cleaned out and stuff sent off to Goodwill or whatever. Can you just download like a really great Audible book and listen to that while you do it? Or can you ask a friend to come over and keep you company while you do it? And then you can stop and have some snacks together. These are things that we want to do, all of us, all 12 signs, to endure this energy of November. So wherever you have Taurus in your chart, if you don't know, check out my free tutorial below called Know Your Signs, where I teach you how to get your birth chart for free. Apply your birth chart to my free PDF download where you can see where you have houses. And then you can see, oh, Taurus is my fifth house. Fifth house is children, romantic partners, creativity. And then you'll go, oh, that's how I apply strength and fresh air to my fifth house. And that's just an example. So if you haven't done it before, check it out. It really adds to these readings, and it's why I encourage you to listen to all 12 signs. All right, let's move on to Geminis. All right, Geminis, what are we getting for you guys for this November energy? First, we have the Knight of Earth. Look at that. Organized, responsible, supportive. I really like that for you guys. Then we have Awakening. All right, so this would be the Hangman card in traditional tarot. This is the Angel Tarot deck. Look at things from a different perspective. And we have the Go For It card. I love that, Geminis. We're going to go for it this month. It's interesting because with a retrograde energy like we have for all of November, I feel it's really important to think about the things that you haven't really been able to launch, or you launched and they didn't quite go the way you wanted. How can you rejuvenate it? How can you renew your energy for it? Like maybe it was a workout program that you were super excited to get started with, and then things just kept getting in the way. Well, now's the time to look and say, why didn't it work? Maybe I was doing it the wrong time of day. Maybe I didn't have a responsibility buddy. What do you call it? Accountability partner. Maybe it wasn't the right location you were doing your workout. That's just a mundane example. Whatever it is that you really wanted to get started with, this is the month to see, okay, why hasn't it really flowed, and how can I shift that? How can I reorganize it? Because this thing about being organized and responsible with this Knight of Earth, I do feel it's about your energy, your time. Where are you focusing your time and energy throughout your day? What is your schedule like? And maybe you could change it around a little bit. If you usually, go to the gym at lunchtime or go after work, is there any chance you can just get up a little earlier and get it done at the beginning of your day? Same thing with creative projects. Maybe you're not sitting down with your creative project during your best time of day where you're the most in flow. I know for me personally, mornings are my most creative space. I do get creative later in the afternoon, but it depends on what other things I've had going on that day. For me, I tend to do better if I work out before I sit down. That's just me personally. So there's something about switching around your daily schedule or the way you're going about things. This Awakening card, it's like maybe flip it upside down. Maybe it's the opposite for you. Maybe you're trying to cram that workout in the morning and it's taking too much time and energy. So by the time you sit down to work, you've kind of gotten out of the flow. So you know what this is for you, but go for it, Geminis. And in fact, I would love it if you tell me in the comments, what are these things that you think could work if you change them around? And maybe also try not to assume you're not going to like it. See, that's the other thing, is sometimes we think, well, I don't want to have to do that because I don't like it when this happens or that happens. We will have to watch that mindset. So change your thoughts around it too. One of my favorite little tricks for changing the way you think is, instead of saying, I have to go work out, you say, I get to go work out. And why do you get to go work out? Because while you're there, you get to listen to your favorite podcasts that you don't normally have time to at that time of day. These are ways that we can, get our brain on board with the thing that needs to change. All right. So let me know what's going on for you, Geminis. You've had some some big moments this year that are setting you up for huge success in 2026. All right, moving on to the Cancers. Cancers, for you guys, we have the Emperor. Oh, Empress. My eyes. I don't have my creation, abundance, and action. Wow. Then we have Five of Fire. Look at that. Competing goals, bothersome details, conflict with others. And then we have steady progress. Steady progress. All right, Cancers, you have been working really hard to bring something to the forefront, to really have something come to light in the greater, collective. It's something that you want in your life in a bigger way. And it has felt like you've been constantly having to move your attention to different little things. In fact, what's standing out to me the most for Cancers in this card is that bothersome detail. It's kind of, this is something that we all tend to have to deal with Mercury retrograde, where it's like, I thought I signed all the documents I needed to for my tax return, and now my accountant's calling and said, hey, you missed this, and now you got to go back, you got to refile, whatever it is. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen with you, but these are the kind of things that can come up where it's just like, oh, now I got to go deal with this. I was finally making progress with this thing I'm trying to give birth to, whether it's a new podcast, whether it's a new workout routine, whether it's a new group of friends you want to start hanging out with more. And then now I got to go deal with all these other things. Well, don't worry, because as long as you stay in divine flow with the little bothersome details, you're going to be making progress the whole time. In fact, I told April, who does a lot of my posts for me, I was going to come up with keywords for November, but they're just not coming through today. And I haven't been doing my pocket affirmations either. So maybe we'll have to go back and I'll do that next week maybe. But the steady progress, where I'm going with this, we haven't been doing our pocket affirmations. So if you want to write in the comment section below, I am in divine flow, to affirm that, I like to do 3 deep breaths, say it 3 times, and just really feel it in my body. Anytime something feels like it's getting in the way, that's where we want to go. And this steady progress means it may not feel like you're moving forward, but you are, as long as you keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the fact that you are nurturing something into existence. So even if you can't see what's going on behind the scenes, or what's really happening, there is progress being made. It's just like a mother who's pregnant. You can't see the baby growing within you, but you know the baby's growing through the checkup, through the changes in your body, through all these things. So it's that faith, is that trust that eventually you will give birth to this dream, this project, whatever. And you may have to deal with some things along the way, like some morning sickness or some extra doctor's appointments, right? These are just examples of, you're giving birth. But you are making progress. So apply that to anything that you're really trying to get off the ground, especially as we all as a collective feel this energy slow down with Mercury going retrograde. Know that the progress is happening. Anything that is like 1 or 2 steps backward is going to be big leaps forward when we get into December. The energy is going to be completely different in December. And so you want to take this time to dot the I's, cross the T's, review things while the energy is slower, so you can be ready for that big leap forward in December. All right, let's move over to our lovely Leos. Pop off. There we go. Leos, how's it going? How's everybody doing? Hey, Chelsea, good to see you here. Glad you can make it early. Hello, Nicole, good to see you. Yamara, good to see you. Yes. So we're going to go into the lovely Leos here. Don't worry, we will do a bonus message and actions at the end. Let's go to the Leos. King of Air. The King of Air card here is talking about knowledge, objective, and respected. Then we have Queen of Earth. Look at that. Thoughtful, creative, warm, sensible. And then we have play. I love it when Leos get play because they have a playful heart. They have a playful energy. So let's jump into bringing this all together with the King of Air here. You know, this is really mastering your communication during this month. And what I'm getting for Leos is use this slowdown in time to get even more masterful with your communication. If you're a writer, maybe you're going back and reviewing things you've written and fine-tuning them and making them better. If you're a speaker, maybe you're spending a little bit more time thinking about your bullet points before you're speaking, before you're going on air, before you're sharing information with others. You know, anything like that. It could even be have something to do with the way you handle communication. Maybe you're upgrading your systems, switching softwares, learning to use new technology. So this is going to be a great time for that for all signs or wherever you have Leo in your chart. For Mercury retrograde, reviewing and researching new methods of communication. Because then we have the Queen of Earth card here. And so your goal with this research of new communication is to bring that stability. Maybe you're finding ways to mechanize your community. Let's see, did I say mechanize? Yeah, automate. I don't know where mechanize came from. Maybe it'll drop down in a minute. Automate your communication in a better way so that you're much more grounded with your communication. Maybe it's more consistent. And this is going to give you more time to play. So automate is the word that I think I was trying to pull through the ether there. There's some things that you could automate a little better, I feel like, in the area where you have Leo. And if you do that, you're going to find time freeing up for more playtime. You're going to be able to maybe spend 2 to 3 hours a week doing something you used to spend, 20 hours a week doing. And now you got more time to go spend on your hobby, go play with your family, just get out there and enjoy the energy of November with it slowing down, right? And so that's going to be a really good energy too. With everything that's going on in the month of November, the holiday season's going to feel a little different. Ideally, it's going to feel a little bit more boisterous, a little bit more loving than we had from last year's Thanksgiving era, for those of you in the United States, this November time of the year. But, we still have some tricky things happening this month. So playtime is going to be crucial for all 12 signs. And I feel like if you find a way to take something you're doing with your communication and create a way for it to be organized and maybe it's not even technology. Maybe you're just finding a way to put everything into one place. Like what I teach with my journaling workshops is your journal is everything. It's your it's your dream journal. It's your gratitude journal. It's your to-do list. It's your mood tracker. It's your tracker of your routines and health. I track my astrology in here. I put all kinds of things in here. I'm moving it all into one place, so I'm carrying one journal with me. Everything's in one place, and that's the kind of thing that I'm seeing for this energy for Leos. All right, so let's switch over to the Virgos. And I'll get your sign switched here. Hey, April, good to see you. Good morning, good morning. All right, Virgos. For your November energy, we have Queen of Air, brilliant, experienced, and humorous. Love it. We have Knight of Water, falling in love, the need to balance your emotions, an invitation to a social event. Ooh, exciting. And entrepreneur. Look at that. Now, I don't read literally, I read intuitively. So maybe some of you out there, I feel you being like, what? I'm retired. I'm not starting a business. Or wait a minute, I love my job. I'm already an entrepreneur. We're going to dive into that deeper. You are getting some similar energy with your neighbor sign Leo about your communication. Your goal with this month is to start mastering your communication with the power of brevity. Right? Brevity is the source of wit, is that famous quote. Let me know in the comments if you know who said that. Brevity is the source of wit. I feel this energy is saying with this retrograde, what's going on, you're going to be looking back on things that you want to communicate to a loved one, to a community, to your clients, and you're going to be scaling it back. You're going to be getting to the point. You're going to be using it to cut the fat, so to speak, in all your communication. Because then we have this Knight of Water card here, and I feel like you're also just not going to have the patience for too much of anything. So you're going to be saying to yourself, I've had it. I don't want to listen to this whining anymore. I don't want to sit here and explain myself over and over again. It's going to be kind of that eruption of emotion. And so you're going to be saying to yourself, we're going to do this differently. We're going to get right to the point. We're being loving, we're being compassionate, but we're not too worried about offending others at this point. Now, the thing to keep in mind with that, with this entrepreneur energy, is you might end up going out on your own to some degree, on a limb to some degree with doing this. So maybe you are putting your foot down with a neighborhood association or with a neighbor, with a group of friends that have just been too all over the place with the way their conversation is, and it's bringing you down. There's something you're kind of saying, I'm not listening to this anymore. I'm not having this discussion anymore. Here's how I feel. This is what's happening. Moving on. So what I'm actually feeling with this entrepreneur card for most Virgos is that you may be going out on your own with some kind of idea or belief and leaving some people behind. You may just be saying, you know what? I love you. I love hanging out with you once a week after work, but this isn't working anymore. I'm going home drained and I'm out of here. It could also have to do with like some kind of family or work relationship too. It's like drama around that. But I really am seeing that Virgos are going to shine when they step into their power to communicate in a brief, very direct to the point method. So use this retrograde energy, Virgos, to do that. Wherever you have Virgo in your chart, I'll use my example as a Cap rising. It would be in my 9th house. So how would I use this? I would go back to my curriculum. I would go back to the things I'm teaching in Coffee with Devin. I would say, how do I really whittle this down and get right to the point? In fact, that's one of the things I want to do with my numerology videos I'm going to be bringing to you guys soon, is kind of breaking it down to very simple methods for you to understand it. And that's what I love to do with the astrology and working with your spiritual team as well. All right, let's switch over to the Libras here. Let me check the time. I do have a meeting coming up, and that's one of the reasons I had to come live early. But like I said, better early than late in my view book. Hello, Libras. What do we have for you guys? For Libras, we have 5 of Fire, conflicts, annoyances, and competition. Who else had this card? Was it Cancers, I feel like? Knight of Air, sorry. I'm literally looking at the card and then my mouth says Earth. Are we in Mercury retrograde yet? Not yet. But it's in shadow. All right, Knight of Earth, intelligent, decisive, idealistic, tireless. Yes. Yes. And ground yourself. Ground yourself. So yes, what I feel like is going on for Libras is there's going to be a lot of communication this month that's going to require you to take the lead and really push through. So this is the example. The example I'd like to give here is like maybe your doctor's office said, hey, we're going to be calling you with your results. If you don't hear from us in a couple of days, give us a call. You call them, you get a runaround, nobody's answering your question, and you're having to say, let me talk to your superior. I need this answer. I'm tired of waiting around. I've got other things to schedule. So these are the kinds of things that I think you're going to see. Apply that to anywhere in your life. That was just the easiest one that came up to mind, but you have the ability to do this. You've got this Knight of Air card here where basically you're going to show how decisive you are with the direction you're going, and you're going to help others do that. The key is to really ground yourself with it. And so what I like that Chris refers to this Knight of Air card too is just being a little impulsive with your communication, being too quick to make assumptions. And I feel like this is something that you might see people around you doing. So just really trying to focus on the creative solutions to get to where you're going, and just remembering to ground yourself if you're getting really caught up in the circle that's happening. Because see, these wands, it's almost like every which way this person turns, they're dealing with another challenge. Maybe this person can turn around and walk away from some of these challenges, go ground themselves, and then they're going to find that creative solution. So it is a bit of a feeling of walking away from the conflict, taking the deep breaths, getting grounded, and then going in with a very decisive communication. And just like you have with your neighbor sign Virgos, or wherever you have Libra in your chart or Virgo in your chart, we are going to want to try to get to the point with Mercury in retrograde. This is not a time to take 3 sentences when you could take 1 sentence to say something. We're leaving the details at the door when it comes to certain things. We're bringing in more details to be very clear with others. And you're going to have to listen to your intuition for that. It's kind of like, well, which one is it, Devin? Am I talking a lot or am I talking a little? It's really more about making sure all the important information is in there, but there's not a lot of fluff. We need to remove the fluff, get right to the point so it's very clear. That's what happens with Mercury retrograde, is communication is not always very clear. So the more to the point you can be, but including all the details, the better. So that's for all 12 signs there. Okay, I think I harped on that enough, right? Alrighty, moving on to Scorpio. Hello, Scorpio. We're still in your beautiful birthday season. I hope you're having an amazing time. You have the High Priestess for your first card here: intuition, wisdom, patience. You have Five of Earth here: fears around money, the wisdom to accept help from others, uncertain self-employment. Don't worry, we read intuitively. We're bringing it all in here. And you have blessings in disguise. Look at that. Yeah, I feel like there's going to be some information that comes to light. Like I said, I'm recording this just after the full moon apex in Taurus today on November 5th, but we are going to be feeling this energy for a very long time. I feel like the new moon is going to be a little bit of an easier energy. We're going to be starting to move into a better energy there, but it is, right before we move into Sagittarius. Like I said, I think December will be a little easier. So just give all of November the grace you need to slow down and listen to your intuition with things. I feel like there's something going on for you guys this month that is giving you a little bit of scare, a little bit of fear around your resources, fear around money, fear around whatever. Maybe you've recently heard they're making cutbacks at work. But this blessing in disguise card is that silver lining. It's something you can't see. It's behind the scenes. It hasn't been revealed yet what's really going on, but changes that are coming for you regarding your material resources is actually bringing you new opportunities. You just don't see them yet. And that's going to be the thing with this patience card here. This is what I'm really, really getting for Scorpios for November. The things that you're making birthday wishes about that you want to see change by the time you get here next year, this time next year, then they're going to be things that you feel like you don't understand how this is helping you get there, if that makes sense, right? It's like, you do hear the stories about people who suddenly lose their job, and out of, just being forced to get clear on their priorities, suddenly they get a great idea and they become a very wealthy entrepreneur but they would have never had the time to do that if they had stayed in that job. That's just an easy example. This could be things around just your daily schedule. Maybe you're suddenly moving, but when you move, you meet your soulmate. Maybe you're suddenly, realizing you can no longer be part of an organization, but then you do use that time that you were volunteering or working with that organization to go do something new and exciting, and you meet new people that way. So there's something there around this blessing in disguise. The key with this Five of Earth card, Scorpios, I want you to always remember is that it's not reality. It may feel like it, but we have to remember, as above, so below. So when you start to get fear around resources, what do? You go ask your spiritual team. You use this High Priestess energy to check in with your intuition and ask for guidance. This is where I say, remember, ask your spiritual team, please send me loud and clear messages for how this is a blessing in disguise, for how I handle this energy for my highest good. And that goes for all of us. You can ask in your journal every day for guidance, and this will open you up to stay in that divine flow. And I really feel that you're going to look back on this time 2 months from now, 6 months from now, even a year from now, and go, wow, I am so glad that I let that thing go, or I overcame that initial loss, that initial disappointment, because that no longer resonates with me anymore. And remember, the things that are leaving our lives are because it's not part of our vibration anymore. And we want to embrace that and trust it. So check in with that intuition, Scorpios. You're very, very intuitive. It's there to support you. All righty. How's everybody doing in the chat? Let me know where you're tuning in from. Great to see all of you. Thanks for coming in early. Hello, Sandra. Good to see you. Hey, Teresa. Good to see you too. Hubert, you made it. I didn't know if you'd see that I was on early today. Good to see you. It's so great to see everybody. Thanks for being flexible about my change in plans here. We're going to get to your bonus messages in a minute, but let's pop in with the Sagittarius here where we have, ooh, look at this, fire sign, Queen of Fire. Intelligent, exuberant, determined. That's my Sages. Gotta love my Sages. Next card we have here is Six of Earth. Look at that. Gifts of time, money, effort, new career opportunities. That's been huge for you guys this year. Big time. Recovering, what does that say? Recovering? Receiving a loan, pay off debts. It's hard because I'm holding it way away from me, well, for the camera. And then be honest with yourself. Yeah, be honest with yourself. You know what I'm feeling for Sages, and I've been getting this for you guys all year long, is you know how magical you are. You know how powerful you are. You know that when you wave your magic wand, it appears before you at some point. It may not be that moment, but you're very good at creating an environment that is magical and bringing in the things you want. And sometimes you just get a little too focused on serving others and trying to do it all yourself. And this is where you're being reminded now is the time to review your daily schedule, review your commitments, and see if maybe there are some things that are too out of balance and it's time to take back that energy. Go ahead and ask for help for others. It's okay to delegate. It's okay to not be the one doing it all the time. And that's what I'm seeing for you guys. Now, remember, we all have Sagittarius in our signs. We just had this full moon in Taurus, apex this morning at the time of this recording. So we're saying, hey, what's not serving me anymore? What do I need to release? What are the things that are too much of a burden that are making things out of balance? So go to wherever you have Sagittarius in your chart and ask yourself, is there somewhere where I can bring more balance in by letting go of something? And this be honest with yourself is really more about why are you doing that? Why are you over giving your energy? Is it because you need external validation? Is it because you don't really trust anybody else to do it properly? We all have that part of us in us somewhere where we feel like we would do a better job, but it's getting things out of balance and it's keeping you from really shining in the things you want to do. So an easy example would be just saying yes to everything your boss asks you to do, and it's keeping you from really shining in the one area that they hired you for in the first place. And you're saying to your boss, you know what, this is too much on my plate. I can't give you the creativity and the passion I want because I keep getting pulled over to do Karen's work over there. Sorry, Karens. I love my Karens. I don't know why I just said Karen. I don't even like it when people talk about Karens. But that's just if the neighbor next to you, okay, it can be any name, is letting you do their work for them. This is where we got to bring that balance back in and say, I can't do this for you anymore. All right. And then just being honest with yourself. Why are you doing it? Are you being a people pleaser? Are you trying to really, show off to your boss when really your boss isn't even noticing? So for those of you who are retired or you're self-employed, you can just apply this to any dynamic in your family. It could be a coworker. Maybe you have a business partner. Maybe it's even with your spouse or an in-law, where you're trying to please, and it's like, I can't do this anymore. We're all going to be facing that with the holiday season right now. We're like in it right now, okay? Be careful about the people-pleasing aspects. That's one of the things that I like to remind all of you beautiful souls out there. You are light workers, whether you call yourself that or not, and light workers tend to overgive. We can get caught in a rut of people pleasing. So watch out for that with the holidays when you're trying to make everybody else happy. Well, we got to do it at this person's house. We got to have these dishes. We got to do it that way, when really it's too much for you. So make sure you're taking the time for yourself no matter what sign you are and where you have the most energy. All right, so let's switch over here. That was the Sag energy. Yeah, a lot of you may remember from last year that were here with me, we did the topic about how to deal with your family and your loved ones during the holidays, like a spiritual approach to that. It was really eye-opening, I think, for all of us. We were doing a reading on that. It was very interesting, to say the least. Hey, Sandra, good to see you. Alrighty, so we're moving into the Capricorns here. Oh, hello, Alicia. Good to see you. Oh, Casglow. Maybe that's why I heard Karen. Okay, good, because one of my dearest friends is named Karen. So whenever people call somebody a Karen, I'm like, don't do that. My Karen is lovely. But sometimes it just happens to be a synchronicity there, right? All right. Capricorns, you have the Five of Earth card too. I forgot who just got that, but lack, worry, assistance. I think it was Scorpios, wasn't it? Five of Earth. Then we have Queen of Air. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing this video. It really helps my video grow. And let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from or what's going on with you guys. Queen of Air, independent, experienced, realistic, witty. Yup. Got to bring that energy in with this Mercury retrograde. And then family. Yes, absolutely. Family. So Capricorns, you guys are really needing to go higher with your thoughts, fears that you have regarding family, regarding material resources, regarding your environment. We really need to work on going out of that and going higher and remembering the same thing that we said with the Scorpios, as above, so below. When things start to look really scary down here on the ground, look up. Say your prayers, prayers work, and really get clear on the things you want to see come to fruition, the results you want. There's another RE, results. I've been looking for all the RE words I can for Mercury retrograde. Hey, you guys, if you think of an RE word that I haven't thought of, please put it in the comments below. We're gonna make this Mercury retrograde the best one yet. And we're going to use the good RE words to get through this. And we're going to review our goals and review the things we want, review the outcomes we want. Now, with this Queen of Air card here, again, it's very much an energy of the same thing that I was saying before for Virgos and Libras, but this is for all 12 signs. Please, please remember, brevity is the source of wit. Be very direct with your communication, and please don't mince words. Don't, I was going to say beat around the bush, but I don't even like that saying. Remember Chris Reck and I were talking about we don't like throw the baby out with the bathwater. Oh, no, that was Scott Cruz and me, which, by the way, if you missed it, I was on Scott Cruz's live last Thursday. We had a really fun time talking about some different stuff for 2026 and the energy overall. But yeah, there's got to be a better term than beat around the bush, but it's just kind of like, you know, we need communication that is direct, honest, clear, and it's not sugarcoating. That's what I want to say. Avoid sugarcoating, all right? This goes for all of us because then people hear what they want to hear. Now, some people are going to hear what they want to hear anyways, but if there's something you really need to communicate in November, I don't care what sign you are, wherever you have Capricorn in your chart, it's going to be really important you're clear. Now, with this family card, this could mean communication on behalf of your family, where you're acting as an advocate on behalf of a child, a parent, a loved one, or it could be communication with the family, where you're saying, you know what, I know we always do Thanksgiving at my house, but this year I need a break. I'm happy to help, but let's meet up in a neutral location and make it happen that way. And that's whatever, you know, you're going to figure it out. I'm just using that easy example because we are in the holidays for a family, but it does feel like there's something in November that if you're not really to the point with what you need to say, it's just going to lead to more confusion. And especially if it is a fear, sometimes we just need to say our fears out loud and then suddenly they're not as scary. And sometimes you need that reflection back. So I am getting for some Capricorns, it's just a really good idea to, go to a loved one that you trust and share your fears and share your concerns and just ask them their thoughts on that, if that's something you're open to, right? And I see Alicia saying, be open right here. Perfect. I love it. And Lisa, did I get to say hi to you earlier? Hello, Lisa. So yeah, I do think that, oh, she said reply. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, she says reply, R-E, exactly. You're finally replying to something that maybe there's an email you've been putting off sending, or there's something that you need to stand up for yourself with. I love that. Thank you, Lisa. And then, but just to wrap this up with this family card, it may be that you just need to really immerse yourself in your family during the month of November as you sort through these fears you're having and allow that communication to come forth, maybe even through your spiritual team. Because remember, I love this card because when this person looks up into these doorways, there's that angel waiting to help. So communication with your spiritual team is going to be key for all of us as we go through this month. And you know what we could also even do with the Mercury retrograde is you could change up the way you communicate with your spiritual team. Maybe you normally sit down and you do some journaling in the morning and you just ask your angels for signs throughout the day. Maybe this time you're going to pull some angel cards every morning and see what you get. Or you're going to do some automatic writing. You're going to, just refresh the way you work with your spiritual team. Okay. So look for, and another good thing to refresh with Mercury retrograde is your vision boards, right? A lot of people wait till the beginning of the year to do it. I say do it whenever you feel the urge to. And for me, I've already have it on my calendar. I'm going to try to spend this weekend doing my vision board. So I love it. All right, now let's move on to the Aquas. Thank you guys for liking and sharing the video. I appreciate it. I see your thumbs up going through there, and I read every single one of your comments. I appreciate it. All right, Aquas, what do we got for you? Let me switch so you can see the overhead. Knight of Air. Knight of Air, intellectual, determined, and motivated. Love it. Love that for the Aquas. Ace of Fire, very exciting. New opportunities, career advancement. Ooh, I've been seeing that for a lot of Aquas all year. All right, and then we have wedding. You guys, you crack me up. I've been getting this for you guys all year long about one-on-one relationships. Now remember, I don't read literally, I read intuitively, but some of you did get married this year, or you got engaged, or you're about to be married, about to get engaged. So some of you, that is very applicable. But some of you, this is one-on-one contracts, right? Like your long-term commitments, relationships with your boss, relationships with anybody in your life. But I do feel like you're moving off in a new direction now. You're finally getting to do things the way you want. And you're so determined and motivated because you have this opportunity to do it in a new way. And so a lot of you are going through a big shift with the way you share things in the world. And that's kind of what I'm feeling here is like maybe you were somebody who always used to, write blog posts and now you're starting a podcast. Those are the things I'm seeing for Aquas. But what I'm also getting with this wedding card is you do have to really marry yourself to this new idea or project. So for those of you who aren't actually getting married and making a commitment to another person, maybe you are, but you have to think of it as I am married to this idea and I am going to go until I see fruit coming from it. So even though it's new and it's exciting and you're getting started and doing it the way you are, it's going to really take that commitment, especially with this November energy where things tend to slow down. But this is where the gold is for you, Aquas, is a lot of this information that you're going to be revamping, reviewing. It's going to allow you to really show your personality now. Like in the past, the way you shared this information, you were doing it very by the book, very organized, very methodical, which is great because people look up to you and they respect you and they see your intellect. But now you're getting to do it with passion and fire and really show your personality. So whatever it is that you're committing to, just make sure you're really letting your passion show and make sure that you're doing it in a way that keeps you determined and motivated. So if something starts to feel a little off, maybe Mercury retrograde is your chance to go, you know what? I don't want to sit there and write 3 pages of a blog post. I just want to get on camera and record it. Why not? I mean, this could be your chance to really show your personality that way. All right. Love that for the Aquas. Let me know what you guys are up to. Moving on to the Pisces, and then we get to do your amazing bonus messages and your actions. Let's go into the Pisces here. Switch the overhead and then we'll do your actions and bonus messages. Balance for Pisces. Balance, compromise, self-control, moderation. All right. We're going to pull all this together here. King of Water, of course, for the beautiful Pisces. King of Water, trustworthy, compassionate, respected, cultured. All right. Opening your heart to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice. And asking. Yeah, I think this is a good reminder for all of us, you guys. I think we forget to ask for guidance, for help. Prayer works, and I really think it can be valuable to step aside from a lot of your worries and concerns and ask for support. And I think it's really interesting with this King of Water card here, this open your heart card. It's one of those times where, it feels like you need to ask for support from someone else, maybe from your spiritual team, but you also need to be open to how that support comes into you. Maybe you're just a little shy. Maybe you're just a little, hurt from the past, something around that. But I feel like there's some kind of way for you to find a way through that if you go into that majorly intuitive space that you have to find creative solutions. So what I'm getting at is it feels like there's something that you know is off balance. You already know this coming into November, but you're not quite sure how to get to the space where things go back into balance. And I think it's asking for help from others. I think there's more delegation involved. I think there's more letting things go that are too much on your plate. And if you're not sure which things to let go or who to ask your higher self, ask your spiritual team, go into a place of prayer. And I think you will find the answers come in faster than you think, but we are going to have to be patient. And some of the answers are going to come from that review process, and reviewing things. When I was creating my angel communication course that I held last January, February, March, whenever that was, winter, I was reviewing old curriculum from previous classes I taught, and it gave me new epiphanies of how I could communicate this better, how I could teach it better. Then I went back and I redid my angel communication class to release my new digital course called How to Connect with Your Spiritual Team, and I added even more content to it. So it's been one of those things where I would feel kind of blocked, but through the review process, I would get the new ideas. So that's why I don't have a problem with Mercury retrograde. It does require there's another RE word. It does require patience, but it also can really bring new ideas through the review and the research project. Now, I have Mercury retrograde natally in my chart, so maybe it's just a little bit easier for me to do that from that standpoint. But I like to tell you all the time, hindsight is one of the most powerful tools for deepening your trust in your intuitive abilities, which you all have natural born intuitive abilities. So using that hindsight, reviewing things from the past, you can have that click of insight. I did have that intuitive hit and I did follow it. And that did bring in that new person in my life, which changed everything. All right. So that goes for all 12 signs. Now let's jump into your bonus messages and your actions to take. Thank you guys so much for being here. Just a quick reminder, we do have Chris Reck from Minnow Tarot back on my channel next week. So hope to see you there. Check out my 2026 messages that I released last week. 5 major themes for 2026. They are huge. Plus, I released a new card spread along with my full moon card spread you can use right now, new moon, Mercury retrograde card spread, and then the card spread for connecting with your ancestors is the brand new one. All linked below, and I'm excited for you guys to try it. All right, let's hop into your bonus messages. First, we have the Wise Counsel card. Belonging, learning, and traditions. This is perfect for the present energy. And the reason that it's perfect is because this is a great time for research, for going deeper into your spiritual knowledge. Maybe you've learned Western astrology and you're going to use some time in November to learn a little bit about Vedic astrology and the sidereal system, right? So you're deepening your knowledge, you're deepening your wisdom. I want you to think about that right now. What is something you already feel you have a knowledge about, but you could go deeper with this energy? So that's the energy for right now. We're going to bring in the near future card and some actions to take. The near future card, we have this King of Air card. Brilliant, impartial, professional, diplomatic. I love that. Speak your mind with confidence. This is what we're now getting for all 12 signs. We got it for Virgo. We got it for Libra. We even got it a little bit for Capricorns. But really for all 12 signs, we need to remember that we got to get to the point with our communication. And it's not that you're skipping details, because it's important you remember the details and you respond with the details, but you do need to be clear. And we're not buttering somebody up and being all flowery and sugarcoating things. We're getting to the point we are mastering our communication in the near future. So if there's anything thing that you can master with your communication, this is the time to do it. Now, coming up in the future, we have the Nine of Water card here. All right, so this is wishes, dreams, happiness. Let me put it right here so you can see it a little closer. All right. This is an opportunity now to kind of look back on 2025 and say, what are the things I want to go with me and what are the things I want to leave behind? And I always want to encourage all of you to sit down and say, what are 10 or more accomplishments that I made in 2025? And these can be very little things. I changed up my daily routine to add in journaling. I started making my bed every day right when I got out of bed instead of an hour later. I remember to call my mom more. I remember to reach out to my friends on their birthdays more. All these things that are accomplishments. It doesn't have to be huge things, but you probably will be surprised. There's more than you remember right off the top of your head. So I really encourage you to go all the way back to January and ask yourself, what are my accomplishments for 2025? What do I want to bring into 2026? And what do I want to leave behind? So let's get into your 2 actions to take. First, we have child. So how is that an action card, right? You are really connecting with childlike energy during this month. You are finding that time for playtime. As the holiday energy starts to build around all of us, it's giving you that opportunity to play more and to enjoy it. And if for those of you who do tend to find the holiday energy a little challenging, taking a different, more childlike approach to it could really help, trying to have that kind of innocent attitude where you don't have previous experience that is influencing you with the way you go about things. So trying to just basically be very playful all month is your action to take. Your second action to take, and then we'll pull it all together, is going to be your innocence card. Wow, right with the child card. Yeah, this is that reminder you are doing the best that you can. And in the past, you were doing the best you could at the time. So it's remembering that you were innocent in the way that you responded to something, the way that you took action on something, because you didn't know. And so it's like, you want to really think about a child who doesn't know not to touch the hot stove. Like, they're innocent when they reach for it. We're not going to scold them, but we are going to teach them not to do it again. Sometimes it's just the act of doing it that teaches them, but remembering that it was childlike innocence that was at play there. We want to go back to that space with where we go into the future, instead of constantly recycling in our mind this bad thing that happened, this bad information, that argument we had, that hurtful thing that happened, that terrible relationship, which, by the way, I can't skip the fact that we do tend to hear from a lot of people from our past with a retrograde. So just be very thoughtful about who you let back into your energy. Usually they left your energy for a reason. Now, sometimes they're coming back in as kind of a soulmate check-in. So it doesn't mean that everybody from your past that pops into your DM or texts you out of the blue is meant to be kept out of your life. It may mean just it's a check-in, but it is something to keep in mind, and try to kind of stay very in that childlike innocence and that playful approach to all these energy. So just pulling it all together one more time in case you want to take a screenshot of this. This energy is going to really be asking you to be very clear with your communication, reflect on your accomplishments in 2025, and really bring that childlike innocence back into your approach to things, being very open-hearted and going deeper into our knowledge. One of the things I'm going to be diving deep into with you guys, especially in my community, I'm doing a Learn With Me aspect in my Coffee with Devin community. The link is below there if you want to check that out. But I will be sharing stuff here on the channel as well. So thank you guys so much for liking and sharing this video, commenting below. It helps my channel. And I really hope that we will stay connected through the comments and channels to feel this energy together, because you are not alone. You are a light worker, and we're all here to work together. So join me next week with Chris Reck. Check out all my freebies below, my free new angel card spread. And since we just had that full moon, maybe you'll do a full moon spread for yourself. Other than that, let me know what other topics you'd like to chat about. I'll be here next week. Love to you all, and thanks for being here. Bye, everybody.